Hello everybody, welcome back to the video. In today's video I'll be showing you kind of how to coordinate your controls and how to not end up on your side when you're landing. So, if we look outside, the real UH-60 is not actually that bad. It's pretty much unheard of to do that unless you're in super strong winds to end up on your side when you're landing. But that usually happens if you have the EWS on the sides, your extra fuel tanks on the side there, and they're uneven, or somehow they become uneven, or somehow your just normal fuel tanks become uneven, to where you'll end up coming in for a landing and you'll end up ending up on your sides. Like, let's say for instance you kind of tip up on your right wheel and you got an EWS on your right fuel tank, the right extended fuel tank, and your right wheel will be touching the ground and your left wheel will be up in the air, or something along those lines. So for takeoffs, I'm just gonna get somewhere where you can see all my controls. Right, you can see my cyclic, pedals, collective, so you can kind of see how I coordinate things. So if I come up into a hover, you're gonna want left pedal, aft cyclic, left pedal and aft cyclic, and then it has a tendency to jerk to the right a little bit, so you may need a bit of left cyclic. So if I'm coming up to a standard 10-foot hover, so then if you want to kind of transition to take off, pitch the nose about 5 degrees nose down, pull up on the collective a bit, and as you gain speed you will be able to let off that left pedal a little bit and bring your nose up a little bit, down about 2 degrees, 2 to 3 degrees. Alright, for landings, this pretty much applies for any kind of landing, but have more stable approaches. If you're coming in too fast and you're trying to slow real fast, like a train flight decel or anything like that, that's going to be a lot more unstable, or a dust off where you have the tendencies to become very unstable. Those are your dangerous kinds of landings. But just for standard VMC approach, come to about 10 degrees, nose up. That's a pretty good attitude. I'm a bit fast right here, but basically the moral of the story is just have more stable approaches, because when you're flying in 2D you're going a lot faster than it looks like. So if you fly in VR, you fly the real aircraft, then you'll know what I'm talking about when I say that you're going a lot faster in the sim than you really think you are. But just in the UH-60 you don't really have to gently set her down. I mean, she'll absorb a little bit of shock because the struts that come up, and there, here's a panel that you can remove the real aircraft there, and you can see the struts coming up, basically the shock absorbers, and they're pretty good. They'll absorb some shocks. You don't really gotta set her down per se, real gently, but just try to have basically more stable approaches, slower approaches just when you're getting started, and just you don't have to sit here for 3 hours and try to set her down and get like a 1 feet per minute landing or nothing like that. You can come in at a decent vertical speed and just kind of just not that hard, but I hope you get the point. So now I'm just gonna show you more of the coordination. I'm just gonna fly around and I'll let you guys kind of see my cyclic and everything, where my controls are at, and hopefully that just kind of helps you a bit with the coordination part of it, because I've had a few people comment wondering like how to coordinate the controls for different maneuvers and whatnot. So I'm just gonna fly around a little bit, kind of let you guys see for yourselves. Now, something I found in this model is that the paddle inputs are very, very sensitive. They're not as sensitive in the real aircraft, or the pedals at least. The cyclic's a tad bit on the sensitive side, that, like, just a little bit. It's pretty damn accurate. So I'm just gonna kind of fly around and let you guys kind of see how to coordinate your controls. Once you push down, when you have troops in the back and you let them get out, you don't want to touch the cyclic really unless you absolutely have to, because let's say you need to roll left, troops are jumping out the left. There you go. There, you just chop the damn heads off. That's why troops are trained not to run in front of the chopper, because as soon as you push that cyclic over, like, you better hope that nobody's in front of the aircraft. So, that's kind of why we don't. Troops won't run in front of the aircraft there, and they'll kind of lay down because they're standing up and taking off. You got to maneuver fast or something, and it could get caught up in the blades there. So now I'm going to do an air assault takeoff. Basically, on air assault takeoff is just trying to get out of an area as fast as possible and trying to accelerate as fast as possible. And then typically we'll go into an NOE flight, or a low level. For those of you who don't know what NOE is, NOE is basically just a low level flight. Then in the mic model, it really depends on the pilot. But some of us will use autopilot. I know plenty of guys that don't use autopilot. Or don't use autopilot, I say. We use autopilot, just don't use auto hover. Unless they absolutely have to. It's a lot of the older guys that flew Lima models that don't really use auto hover, even though some of them do use auto hover. And some of the newer guys don't use auto hover. But if we're coming in, this is more stuff that you do at like air assault school and whatnot. This stuff they teach you at air assault school. So like 10th Mountain, 101st, this they're kind of stuff that's gonna be doing this. But if you come in here, you get to hover in about 20 to 30 feet and let them fast drop out of the aircraft. This is more stuff that you mostly, like the 101st, 10th Mountain does a little bit as well at the air assault school. But at the air assault school, we'll basically just have a bunch of Blackhawks. I've never actually flown one of the Blackhawks for the air assault school, but I think it would actually be decent fun. We'll just kind of sit on the ground here, you know, 3 or 4 Blackhawks in a field, and you'll just kind of come up and there'll be a line out here, and you'll just let them fast drop out, touch back down, have the other ones load up. But I think it would be kind of cool to fly for one of those. I haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. Sorry. But this is a very steep turn. You probably wouldn't want to do that in real aircraft, but it's a simulator, so. If you guys want me to, I can start doing a little bit of real world stuff. I'm not really sure how to go about being able to get like a GoPro in the cockpit or something. But I don't even know if that's even allowed. But if you guys know how, or you guys want to see more real world stuff, then just hit me up in the comment section. I'll be able to make that happen. So now as we're coming here for the final landing, I'm gonna do a terrain flight decel. Back at the ramp here, and we're going very fast. We're 140 knots right now. But something I noticed that the torque is definitely. Well, they could have fixed it. Did they fix it? I don't think they fixed it, but the torque is definitely a bit on the low side, and it's very sensitive to over torquing. And if you look at the ECAS here, the it's not showing all the correct parameters and everything, because like right now what it's showing is that both engines are completely dead. Not with the numbers up top, with the way the bars are and stuff. If I was just to glance over to the ECAS and see that, like, I would be worried. So in this model, I wouldn't really mind the over torquing too much, because in the real aircraft it's not this sensitive to over torquing. This is just something in here, so I usually do over torque it a lot when I'm flying around. Now something that they did do is if you just pull fast, reel up, or pull up with the collector real fast, that's pretty realistic, as your blades will spike up. Because basically, well, let me pull up here and park brake on. Alright, basically your inputs, the engine can't keep up with the pitch of the blades from your collective input, because you made a very fast collective input, so it slows the blades down a lot. So I hope this helps all of you. If you want to see anything else, be sure to drop it in the comments. Oh, and one more thing. I had people ask me what my settings were for DCS, my control settings. I set the dead zone up for your stick. Just set a dead zone just like you would anything. I usually run 0 dead zone on everything. My cyclic is just left default. Nothing's done with my collective is just left default. Linear curve. My pedals have a linear curve. My cyclic is a linear curve. Just everything's got a linear curve in it. I have no dead zones in any of it. It's all linear. And we're trying to think what else is on that page. I think that's it. I didn't adjust. I don't know what you'd call it, but there's two other sliders that you can adjust, like how much it takes to get. Like you could have it go to here, and this be your max input, and then you move it further, and it doesn't really do anything. I'm not really sure what that's called. Basically, everything's just full linear, no dead zone. So yeah. So I hope you'll learn something in this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. If you have any questions or concerns, be sure to drop them in the comments, and I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. And I'll see y'all in another video.